As far as they do get loose off exit, no surprise there. You gotta be easy on the throttle, especially on cold tires, or else you will get loose and spin your car into the inside wall.
Yeah, so the rear end's going to step out on you a little bit on throttle up on exit, and you also got to be mindful of locking the fronts up on entry to the turn. This track is hard on tires, so they got 6 sets tonight. They better take good care of them and be careful with that brake and be careful with that throttle.
6 sets can go by quick on tires if you are not careful, like you was saying. So you got to be easy. Stage Stages will come into a factor as well if, when you want to pit or stay out, depending on how old your tires are. Are the stage brakes tonight?
Let's see. So we got a stage break at. Let me pull it up. Where is it? Hold on. Where'd it go? I lost it. I had it up. I lost it. It's 75, 150, and then the last one will be obviously 250. So this, I mean, you're gonna see in the first 75 lap, it's gonna be really interesting to see these fast guys and how they do it.
Yeah, so stage brakes are important, as Nick was saying, when they are coming up. On your screen right now, if you're watching on Facebook or YouTube, I got the grid pull up. Parker Collins is your post hitter. Tallman is to his outside. And you can look on further on back where your favorite driver is starting for tonight. As Nick was saying earlier, this is a smaller field than what we have seen in the past few races. Usually it's around 23 to 24 cars average. But I don't think it's like too small. I think it's a decent size for Martinsville, honestly.
Yeah, it's a good size for Martinsville. You don't really want to have a slam-packed track. It can cause a lot of congestion, and the leaders can really sneak up on those slower cars really fast. I think we're gonna have a good race tonight.
See, the pace car has the field waiting to get the signal to go green here. So Parker has been the dominant car. He's won 3 races this year. Had a guy named Eric come in. He's won a few races, and he's no longer with the league, but Parker's back at it. He's got the control of the field. Let's see if anybody can throw him off his horse as they take the green flag here and Parker's away. He's going to take it strong down to the inside.
Yeah, that inside is going to be where you want to run all night. If you get a car underneath you, as you can see, he got on the outside, and Parker and both Nick Compton and that 80 kind of snuck underneath him. So you get stuck on the top, you might be going backwards.
Yeah, it's kind of like Talladega here. If you get stuck on that outside line with no drafting help, you go backwards. And here, if you get stuck on that outside line, then you go backwards. So
yeah, the draft isn't very important here. It's all about car control and keeping that throttle, keeping that egg not getting crushed underneath your throttle pedal. I was really excited about racing in this race, and pretty bummed that I couldn't do it.
see the 18, he's all over the back of the 80 car of Nick Compton. He's trying to get that second position back away. I'm actually a bit surprised Nick qualified as well as he did. I noticed in the previous races he's kind of struggled. He ran good at Watkins Glen, and then he struggled at.
Yeah, he struggled early on in the season. Oh, we got Riley Hoots on the wall. They got a wreck him in the corner. There's a battle for ninth between Keith and Riley Hoots, and I think Riley Hoots just sent it too hard down in the corner. But yeah, the 28 or the 18. I'm sorry. He struggled early on in the season, and then he kind of made a stride back with Watkins Glen, and he's on a tear right now. He's one of those to watch.
Well, he definitely is fast. We've seen the 18, Tallman and Parker and Merrick battle at a few different tracks, and they put.
Yeah, we got a good battle between the 42 and Zach Compton right now. Back here for fifth and sixth. Like it's there we go. We got a caution out.
Save it some fuel whenever you can, but you're doing a really good job. Tell me about your race car when you can.
I'm gonna rewind this thing and kind of take a look what happened here.
It wasn't clear.
No. And you know, one fast repair, I'm sure these guys here will have to use it. It's gonna make for a long night for them if they have to use this repair early on in this race. You want to save that till later on.
Absolutely. Like you can go down a lot of laps in a little bit of time here, especially if a lot of green flag laps are being run. That's unfortunate for the 28. Man, I hate using that fast repair so early. It kind of gives you like a Super Mario Kart feeling. You got all these turtles and banana peels getting thrown at you. You're just avoiding everything that you can, trying to stay out of trouble. And sometimes that'll get you in trouble.
For those of you watching at home that does not know what a fast repair is, or maybe really not familiar with iRacing in general, fast repairs where iRacing gives limited or unlimited, depending on the league and stuff, of how many times you can make your car 100% again. So after you get involved in a wreck and you got a blown engine, you can throw a fast repair on in your met fast repair. So just throw that out there if you didn't know what a fast repair was.
Yeah, quick repairs can be a blessing. They can also be a curse though, because a lot of drivers they might think, oh, I could be a little reckless because I got a quick repair. We've actually had the discussion a couple weeks ago, us admins, about getting rid of the fast repair for next season. We haven't made a decision just yet, but we might be headed that direction. Just we're gonna see how things roll out for the rest of the season. We'll definitely keep everybody informed on that.
As you were saying, fast repairs, they can be a blessing. I mean, if you get involved in a wreck and it's not your fault and you got a blown engine, you could say, yeah, fast repair is handy. But then again, you get those guys that say, hey, I got a fast repair and I can charge into the corner at 80 to 90 miles per hour without hitting the brakes and taking 2 or 3 guys out. So it definitely has its pros and cons.
Absolutely. I just want to give a quick shout out to Derek Line. He made all of our playoff banners for every car, and he did a great job on them. Splitter. He did them all free of charge. Can't thank him enough, especially for someone that wasn't in the playoffs. He had no skin in the game to do it. He just wanted to do it for us.
So you're actually talking about the yellow banner right above the windshield. We're looking back at Zachary Compton's car right now. He's in the playoffs, so that's what Nick was talking about. So if you see a car with the yellow banner on top, that means they are in the playoffs.
Yeah, that gives the spectators kind of a visual cue as to who's racing for the championship, but also the rear spoiler being yellow, that gives other drivers on the track a visual cue as well. Hey, you're coming up on a playoff driver. We told them during the drivers' meeting, hey, we're not expecting non-playoff drivers to move over to kind of let people go. You got your own race to run, and that's how we expect our league to go.
Definitely. I mean, we're on board now with Nick, and you can see the back of kind of know who's in that playoff and who's not.
We got a little stack up out here. Absolutely, he's part of that high people from around the world, different countries, and even though it might be our next door neighbors, but it's cool to see.
It definitely is. I mean, I used to race F1 like on the PS4, and used to get some of these guys from overseas and stuff. It's pretty awesome to see how they race compared to how we race over here, and what lines they run, and how some of those guys are like so much quicker than what I could ever be on an F1 game.
Yeah, I've never really messed around with the F1 cars. And I think to be able to control those cars and to be able to throw them into the corners like they do. A little wreck. I think he might have just spun out. Yeah, he got loose on exit. I think maybe he might have dropped a crown or something. He's trying to get a mid-race snack.
Loose on corner exit.
Yeah, like I said, once those tires start wearing, it's gonna get slick on exit, and it's gonna be really easy to lock them up coming into the turn too. So that corner, I think more important. I think corner exit's more important than entry here, just because you want to get that good run down the straightaway. But I mean, you can really mess yourself up if you get a bad entry as well.
Didn't see anybody going to pit road. No surprise there. Trying to make it to the end of the stage at lap 75. I think though, Nick, if I was in the back, I'd come in and get tires. I mean, 6 sets, it don't seem like a lot, but if you be careful with them, and if we have a long green flag run for the next 40 laps or so, you might be able to gain some positions on some of the guys further on back.
Yeah, you definitely could. The risk you do with that, you take with that is getting back there in the weeds where some of these less experienced drivers that maybe not having a lot of seat time on this track are back there, and they might get in your way. Just might slow you up. And slower cars, and make sure you don't get caught up. That way you don't go a lap down.
Yeah, for sure. I mean, I was watching lap times earlier, and everybody was pretty close. I mean, obviously Parker was the quickest one during practice, and he had to pull for qualifying to start tonight's race, but pretty much everybody was almost right on top of each other. But even then, if you make a mistake in the back of the pack, you could lose a bunch of time, and Parker can put you laps down.
Yeah, he definitely can, and he will. Uh, he's a good driver. He's fast. He's catchable though. He's beatable. We've seen that a few times. I'm about to take the green flag right now. It's gonna be interesting to see who can get jumped down to the bottom.
Parker gets a pretty good restart here, and ugh. So the top 4 are single file. Now the top 5 are single file. Top 6 equipment. You got a battle for the lead heating up though with the 18 and the 54.
Yeah, you got to be pretty patient here, but you also got to know when it's time to go. You can't stay behind someone too long. Like I said earlier, there's like it's a small track. It's easier for that leader to catch up to the rear and put you a lap down. And once you go a lap down, it's kind of hard to get that lap back as well.
Yeah, it definitely is. Just to get you back up into the ball game here.
I saw Alan Bledsoe getting the rear end of him corner before.
Bledsoe's in the 42 machine, and he's on the outside of the 28. Derek Schilling's involved.
Yeah, these guys are gonna have to settle down a little bit. We took a 2-week break for the holidays. I think a lot of people are kind of eager to get back into it, and either that or they're kind of a little bit of shaking the dust off around each other on purpose.
Yeah, it's definitely sketchy. Taking a 2-week break off and then coming right back here to Martinsville to start the playoffs. But next week, you
Yeah, Daytona's always fun. Talladega's always fun. Those super speedways, it's all about draft. It's all about how clean your car can stay. Teamwork. Teamwork is the key. Me and Keith always do really well. I told him I wasn't taking my racing stuff to Texas. He's like, "What? No shake and bake." So, but he's gonna see if he can't work something out with another team to kind of get some more people together to work as a big group.
yeah, your teammates are definitely important at Talladega, Daytona. Obviously, they drafted. Go ahead.
So also, shameless plug here. We are High Octane Sim Series will be hosting a charity race on the 22nd of January to benefit military veterans and gamers charity. So they put together gaming PCs and sent them out to disabled veterans and former military members. And it's a great charity, but all proceeds will be going to that charity. It's $10 to join the race. It will be broadcasted. We got a big name broadcaster doing it for free, so that's awesome. They came out and offered it to us on Facebook, and he'll put you in contact with us. It's gonna be great. I can't wait to watch it. I wanted to race in it. I donated. I'm still gonna watch it, but it's gonna be exciting.
That's a 100% race, correct?
Absolutely, that's gonna be a full length race, 200 laps around Daytona. It's gonna be a blast. It's gonna be fun to watch.
ID player. I don't. Yeah, I'm still waiting for iRacing to put the package in of what NASCAR is officially going to use for this coming season. So I do know those next gen cars. They
A
got.
fun package once iRacing gets their package right before we make the and then season 3.
But they are really easy to drive. I feel like.
Yeah, I mean the Gen 6 cars are easy to drive too. They're a lot easier than the Xfinity cars. But the next gen cars I think are too easy to drive, and I personally don't like them just yet.
Ain't no challenge. I like a little bit of a challenge. I do like the Xfinity just because of that challenge. I mean, those cars are a different breed.
Is something different. They are a blast to drive, And another shameless plug. We are going to be starting recruitment races for season 2 coming very soon for our Xfinity series. We're going to be hosting the Xfinity series and the Cup series. We will not be broadcasting the Xfinity series. That series will be used as a stepping stone to get to Cup. We're going to lock the field for Cup at 30 cars. So every single week we will have 30 cars in the race, unless something last minute happens where somebody can't make it. But if someone drops out of the league or gets kicked or whatever it may be, that'll open up a spot for the Cup Series, and somebody in the Xfinity Series will have the opportunity to move up into Cup. It'll be interesting bump, and the
Messages of the suggestions, and I think it's a brilliant driver. And a seat does become available, so I think it's a great idea what you guys are doing.
yeah, it's definitely gonna be. It's gonna make the new Cup driver kind of think, oh, I can do this. So it's gonna be fun to watch, see who joins and who makes the jump up. And if so, the first person that gets the opportunity will be obviously the leader of the Xfinity series. If he declines, it'll just go down the list in the standings. So we're excited for it. Got a little feisty up there. Yeah, they're getting a little. Ooh, they're getting feisty up there.
That's Hoots in that Dr. Pepper 25 car. He's on to the outside now. He's gonna drop back in behind Compton up here in the 81 machine.
I can start hearing the tempers flaring a little bit on the iRacing chat.
Yeah,
A little,
forgot to,
early in the race for some tempers getting hot.
that was one of the first things I done after I went live. I realized I forgot to mute the iRacing chat. I'm like,
So we put in our drivers meeting every week. Hey, be careful what you say over iRacing chat, right? We're all adults here, but for your subscribers and your viewers, and if they keep doing it, if they do it once, they'll get a warning. If they do it again, they'll just get muted. And that's how we've been running all season.
so have you guys had to mute anybody yet?
We've had to mute a couple people. Once you do it once, you can unmute them after usually about a green flag run. You unmute them and they're fine. It's like kind of like putting your kid in timeout kind of deal.
Yeah. Parker
looks like he's just on a Sunday drive.
Yeah, I mean, he's led all the laps here tonight. No competition with him as of yet. See Hoots getting a little wide. That's going to open up the door for the 88 of Derek Line to drop onto his inside. And there's contact, and now the 25 is going around.
There will be a caution.
That's going to bring out a caution. Like 25 just came down and hit the 88th and just kind of bounced off him and went back to the outside wall.
Yeah, it's really easy to get into other cars here. Just these corners are so tight. It's really easy to get into the side of another car. I've been to this track in real life, and it's absolutely bonkers all race long. They're just banging against each other all night long here.
And especially if, like, for guys who are on a single monitor versus guys who might be running triples or even VR, they don't have that outside view as much to see if there's somebody to your inside or outside or how far you can go down unless you have a button made up to look. Common and 18 and 81 of Zachary Compton came down pit road to get service done to their car.
If you have your Uh, uh,
Hey, Nick, are you still there, buddy?
yeah, I got you.
Okay, you was cutting in and out a little bit. I don't know what you were trying to say.
Yeah, I'm on hotel Wi-Fi, so
Trying to talk to us humans down here, and
yeah, I was right now. So, old Nick Alford has had a lot of because I race in VR. Right, there's one race where my headset decided it wanted to update and reset down the backstretch, and yeah, that done me in for the night.
yeah,
That was early on in the season.
I have a VR. I don't, to be honest, I don't use it that much. Too many guys having.
For an update before I get on my computer for a race. That's just out of habit now because it's happened more than once. I've never had an issue with like batteries dying or anything else though.
Good. I just seen where league race. I mean, I couldn't do it. Maybe in an official race, I've used it, but I haven't used it in a league race as of yet.
Yeah, I can't race without him now. Uh, you can't get any more immersive than being in VR. It just puts you right in the driver's seat. And, oh, we got a big wreck on the front stretch.
Caution.
It's gonna. Oh,
Save us some fuel whenever you can,
Gonna
but
clog up the whole track.
about your race car when you can.
20 car. He flipped. Keith Follett made him do that little Bannerita there, flipping him around, and 25's involved. The 80, he's missing his front end. It's loose, and he's the one that brings that yellow out. A lot of these guys had no place to go. The 18, he gets involved, and he was up here in the top 5 earlier, running second before he decided to come to pit road, and now he has damage.
Over the mic and said, "Hey, that was just my bad. Like I got into the throttle way too early. Like we were talking about with those tire management. Once once those tires start falling off, you start losing grip. You can really start coming around really fast.
We've seen that in real life plenty of times, but that's the first time I've seen it us. So are we in the window now to make this our stage break? We are lap 70.
Sorry, I had to do some admin stuff.
You're good.
They're arguing over the radio. I had to mute everybody. What were you saying?
Looks like the window is opening up for the.
So our normal rule is within 5 laps. So we're a little bit outside of that window. So they're gonna run it until 75. So it's gonna be kind of like a little sprint
Yep.
to the stage end.
That's what I thought you guys would do. I mean, as a broadcast, if like we don't get that information directly, so I think it's a smart call. Go ahead and run it. You don't want to make anybody mad. Just like, hey, give Parker the stage win. Let's race it out, because you never know what the 45 could do, or if the 54 spins his tires or gets a bad restart here.
Yeah. So I think it was about the first half of the season. We didn't really have much of a plan when it came down to cautions right before the stage breaks. And then we had a discussion with each other, me, Keith, Nick, the other admins. We're like a good standing ground.
Green flag.
to kind of base it off of.
I agree. Whenever I ran a league over on the PS4 side, I had a five lap window thing. Like if couldn't call a manual caution if there was 5 laps left in the stage caution. So I
Throwing a caution. We let iRacing take care of that just because you get into the deal with NASCAR, like actual real life NASCAR now, with the whole Chase Elliott debacle with throwing cautions for Chase Elliott but not throwing cautions for somebody else, right? So that's
Yep.
where you get into that kind of situation. So we decided let iRacing take care of all the yellow flags, and we'll take care of the black flags and the cost of the stages.
I think that's a smart move. I mean, it keeps everybody honest. It does, and that way people don't think that there's favoritism among the league. So,
Caution, caution. Okay, quickly tell me what you think you had there.
hey Parker, it's John and Nick in the booth. You got us.
Yeah, I gotcha.
Hey, congratulations on your first stage win of the chase. You've led all the laps so far tonight. Think you got any competition for anybody out there so far?
I think there's a couple guys who can come up here and try and take it away from me, but it's been fun. Had a little bit of fun on that last restart, taking the outside there with my teammate, but a pretty smooth and uneventful race so far. I think it's gonna heat up though, Martinsville being Martinsville and all, so we'll just see how it goes.
Yeah, you just gotta keep your nose clean. If you ever get to start lapping these guys, that's when you really gotta pay attention and keep your head on a swivel. These cars can get away from you in a hurry, and you don't want to get the bad end of that deal.
Yeah, hopefully we get some long green flag runs here pretty soon. I think it'll get real interesting with lap cars if we get a long enough run, but we'll just have to see. Hopefully we can, like you said, keep the nose clean and end up at victory lane here at the end.
All right, well, we'll get you back to your race here so you can focus, and good luck for the rest of the race.
Yep, thanks, guys.
Parker seems like he has a pretty easy strategy. Just stay out of the way of other people. Make sure you don't get involved in their wrecks. We did have, it looks like, Nick Compton and Riley Hoot stay out. Lewis, he was the one who flipped earlier whenever Nick brought that caution out. As you can see, Nick, he... Same with...
Yeah, Parker seems like he's definitely the car to beat. Looks like we had some people stay out for the stage.
Yeah, it's starting on this outside.
Green flag.
Riley, or Hoots is working really hard on the outside of the 80 car to take this lead away. He's one of those playoff cars, and he loses it going down here in turn 3.
Say again. Caution for in the wall.
Don't think he made contact with anybody. He just... Car got away from him. He's battling up here for the lead and goes into turn 3 and loses it. So it's going to hand the lead over to Nick Compton in the 80 car. Parker Collins will be second.
That looked like a little bit of net code between Riley and Nick.
That could be it. We've seen that a couple times throughout the season. Guys net coding. I wish iRacing could fix that. I know it seems like a lot of guys have that issue with netcode.
Yeah, I mean netcode is just what you're gonna deal with it when it comes to online racing. There's really no fix to it. iRacing's done a great job of minimizing it as much as they can by adding more servers. But as long as, I mean, it's online racing. It's based off of internet connection, and sometimes depending on weather or whatnot, you can have spotty internet.
It's kind of like the same thing as lagging on the console side. I mean, it all has to do with internet connections and weather, so.
Yeah, I mean it's the same thing. Got Brian Messer coming down pit road. Let's see what he wants. Let's see what he's gonna do. See if he's gonna take some tires or not.
He has a nice paint scheme, something different. I noticed Keith Fallen in the 09, he's running something different too that he normally doesn't run.
Yeah, so Keith, he's running a kind of a tribute scheme to I think it was a dirt late model, I think it was, that his dad worked on when he was a kid. He did that for his dad, and it looks good. His dad's really excited about seeing it tonight.
I think on this restart, I think Parker's going to be pretty aggressive to get this position back, the lead back. Nick gets a pretty good jump here.
Green flag.
Parker going down on the inside, and they make contact.
Oh, I don't think Nick's gonna like that very often. Oh
then
man,
he gets taken out
that
by
was-
the 28th, and there goes Keith getting into him.
Yep, another big wreck.
My opinion, just a little too aggressive. I mean, Parker knows he has the fastest car.
Yeah, that was.
See, Parker kind of ran him up the track just a little bit. And then the 28 came by and finished off the 80.
Yeah, I rewound it a little bit to see if maybe there was an incident prior, and I didn't see anything. It was right on the restart. Parker just kind of sent it too hard down low.
I think it's just being a little too aggressive. Trying to get the lead back. Parker's one of the cleanest guys when it comes to racing. You know, he doesn't drive people dirty. See the Compton brothers. They're on pit roads. They're gonna go laps down here in Zach, he's just now going away, and Nick, he's still on pit road.
Yeah, we got all kinds of strategies going on. People trying to fix repairs, people getting tires or whatnot.
Well, hopefully, I don't want to say this, but hopefully we don't have a repeat of Joey Logano and Matt Kenseth.
Oh man, hopefully not.
I mean, I know it got brought up in the Discord chat earlier. Some guys are just joking around about it.
Yeah, it got brought up. I ignored it. I'm not gonna lie. I was like, yeah, I don't want to see that.
Well, I ain't gonna lie. At the time, I was happy it happened because it let Jeff Gordon get his final race of win of his career. Meanwhile,
he's trying to get a good jump.
Walker gets a pretty good jump. He's gonna take the.
Right. And Parker's back out in clean air.
John Trainer in the 28 car. He's gonna go underneath Lewis here for the second position and take that spot away. You got Felix also going underneath the 20, and you got Allen in the 42 also going underneath the 20. So 20, he's fallen back quite a bit.
Rye, he's pretty consistent usually week in and week out. He's one of those cars that stayed out during the stage break too, so keep that in mind. He is definitely on older tires than the rest of the field.
Yeah, that does make a difference. He's on a different tire strategy.
Got a lot of cars missing their front end.
Looking at lap times, since we're almost halfway through the race, Parker Collins has the fastest lap so far with a 19.46 around this track. So it's pretty fast. He's laying down some quick times.
Yeah, his qualifying time was in the fours. He's consistently fast. Everywhere we go, he's always been consistently fast, like running consistent hot laps, and that's hard to do. It's really hard to do, especially on a short track like this. It makes it a lot easier though when you're by yourself and running clean air and no one around you. You just kind of run your own line, run your own race.
Oh yeah, most definitely. Like Parker right now, he's got a pretty good size lead over second place, so he can run his own race. He doesn't really have to worry about checking up in guys in front of him, or he can hit his marks pretty well perfect with nobody around him.
Yeah, he's got about a 2-second gap on John Trainer behind him. John Trainer, he started in 12th and he's running second now. He's made a good jump up, and he could give Parker a run towards the end of this race.
He could. He's moved up quite a bit, 12th to 2nd here. That's really not easy to do at this type of racetrack. I mean, we have 18 cars who
Yeah, it's about. You got to know when it's time to go. It looks like John. He's kind of figured out when it's time to go at the right times, and he's being patient at the right times.
Tires get really worn out and they're down on RPMs just to try to get that extra speed off corner exit.
I don't think so. I wouldn't personally. It would do more harm than good. Uh, you would actually get more wheel speed coming off the corner if you do that, and you don't want a lot of wheel speed coming off the corner. Sounds like we got a wreck.
Somewhere.
Yep,
Caution.
we got another wreck. Who's that? Riley just kind of lost it in the corner. He got into the wall on exit of the corner before, and just standing around right there in turn 2.
There in front of Felix and hit that outside wall and kind of kept it up there. So he got it going again. I kind of wonder
Yeah,
if
we brought it up. We brought it up beginning of the broadcast. Tyreek in turns 3 and 4, he kind of locked it up. Got too hot coming in again, and maybe a little bit of both, and maybe started spinning on the exit. So it, these guys need a little slow down a little bit. Kind of back up their corners just a hair on these older tires.
I was just about to say, I think maybe Riley might be running out of patience. I mean, we saw him up here earlier, and then he went around on that when he was on the outside of Compton. And you think he's just trying to get some of his track position back, trying to maybe be just a tad bit aggressive?
Yeah, it could be, and this track can be very frustrating. Sometimes when one thing goes wrong, multiple things go wrong, and usually sometimes when you get caught up in an accident or caught up in a wreck, and sometimes it just keeps happening. It's like sometimes you might feel like a magnet to the wrecks, and that might be, and it's not really working.
This I kind of like this track better on iRacing than I did like on NASCAR Heat 5, a game I used to play. Um, I do like this track a lot better. Still not my favorite. I do like it better than New Hampshire, though. I will say that I'm terrible at New Hampshire, and these tracks are almost identical.
Yeah, I'm actually really excited for the future in the next 3 to 5 years. Uh, Let me take you back a couple of years. We actually bought land just outside of Martinsville, so we own 2.5 acres there, and we're gonna be building a house there soon for when I separate from the military. And it's gonna be really exciting because I'm about to be able to go to this racetrack every time NASCAR comes to town. I just can't wait for it.
Yeah, Martinsville is definitely on my bucket list. I've been to Bristol. That's the only NASCAR race I've ever been to, and Martinsville is one of the ones I want to go to. I might go down to Nashville this summer, and I also might go to Gateway. It's only like 3 hours from me. I might go to those two tracks. Haven't decided yet, but I'm considering it.
Yeah, I've been. So I figured out the trick with my connection. Disconnect and connect right when it starts going to a red bar. But like I was saying, so I live 2 hours away from Richmond. It's my favorite track. Favorite track on the sim, and in real life, it's such a fun track to watch. Such a fun track to race on iRacing. Um, been to Daytona. My wife, before I went to Bahrain, my wife got me tickets to. She bought 2 tickets to the whole weekend in the summer for the Daytona races. Spent a weekend down there. Been to Dover. Dover's pretty close to me as well. Let me see. Been to Bristol. I think that's the only ones I've been to. But I definitely can't wait to go to Martinsville. I can't wait to start going to Bristol more because my mother and father-in-law just bought a house in Knoxville, Tennessee. So they live a couple hours away from Bristol, so I'll be going there more often now.
Bristol was, I've, like I said, been there once. Saw Jeff Gordon lose control down in turn 3 and 4 during qualifying, and everybody but me pretty much cheered for the guy whenever he lost control. So I was a Gordon fan growing up.
Yeah, I was a Gordon fan growing up as well, and I kind of got out of being a fan of his later on in my teenage years. And then obviously once I got older, I started realizing how good of his now, even to the day. Like he's done so much for the sport, and he's done so much for NASCAR in general. He's one of those big icons and one of those names that you will never forget in the name of NASCAR.
Oh, for sure. I went to Indianapolis Motor Speedway on my when I got married the first time. We went up there and we walked around the track and stuff, and they had all kinds of sports stuff in his name, statues. His name is all over these record books. Meanwhile, I've got the 18 going around the front stretch here.
Cool your stuff, clear your head.
Yeah, that was a little bit of leftovers from turn 2 there. The Riley Hoots, he came across the mic saying he had wheel hop going in the corner. He got into the back of Victor. Victor got into the back of was that the 88, and it was just a domino effect there. And the 18 unfortunately got the short hand of that stick.
Don't take much to go around here, and one bad wheel hop is all it takes.
Yeah, we keep bringing it up. The entry to the corner is imperative. Like Riley, we were talking about him. He's pushing. He's pushing hard. And once you start pushing hard, you get those little mistakes about wheel hopping in the corner. If you don't know what wheel hopping is, it's when you start locking up not only your front tires but your rear tires start locking up too, and it starts chattering, and it'll spin you around. If you're not careful.
Mistakes is something you don't want ever, especially here. Like we've been discussing, you can go down multiple laps in a hurry if you get damage or outside wall.
And interesting enough, we only got 2 cars not on the lead lap. We got Nick Compton's 38 laps down. He's been in the pits getting repaired, and Mike, he's a new playoff driver. He took my spot. I was kind of rooting for him tonight. He was coming into this week thinking he wasn't in the running, and lo and behold, the U.S. Navy had different answers or different plans, and he actually is in the running for the championship.
So when do you plan on getting out of the military?
So originally, I was getting out in a year and a half. So I only had a year and a half left on my contract. Um, but in order for me to transfer off of the ship that I was stationed on, I had to extend my contract by a year and a half. So uh, my job are sea duty, shore duty rotation. Sea duty is when you go on ships or overseas, and shore duty is you're on in stateside, right? Less arduous duty. You're home every day, things like that. Our rotation for that is 3 and 3 years, right? So 3 years sea duty, 3 years shore duty. With the Navy, if you don't have enough time left on your contract to fulfill a full service agreement on new orders, you have to stay at your current command until you get out. So that would have meant I would have had to stay on my ship for another year and a half. And we just did 2 deployments over the past 2 years, and extra year and a half on that ship, that very well could have been another deployment. And I did not want to do that, so I decided to go ahead and stay in the Navy the extra year and some change, and stay home basically. We got somebody in the wall back here.
Yeah, that's Derek showing in the 87 car. Keith's falling in the 09, made contact with him and
How you doing inside there? You feeling okay?
hit him around. Keith is also one of those guys that you really don't see that much aggression out of. You don't see him hitting guys in walls or wrecking them on purpose. You just go down to turn 1 and 2 here and kind of stacks everybody up behind them.
Yeah, Keith is very methodical. He's very strategic. He's on my team, Milsom Racing, and he's constantly talking fuel mileage. Hey, what do you think about taking two tires in the next stop? And he's constantly bouncing ideas on how to kind of gain an advantage on pit road or on restarts. If you recall earlier on in the season, back at Daytona or Talladega, one of those plate races we were at, if one of us were on the bottom, we'd let the other one down. And I mean, it's all part of strategy. It's all part of teamwork. But he's very methodical on how he races. And unfortunately, that kind of hurts him a little bit because he's not very aggressive. But I think we're going to start seeing Keith get more confident in his driving ability. He did get new equipment. He got some Fanatic gear. New pedals came in. He's waiting on his new wheel. So the next few weeks, he's going to get more confidence in his car, I think, and we're going to start seeing him be more aggressive.
Yeah, I got a friend. His name is Tom. He's like that. He's the guy that's like, all right, this is what I think we should do. When do you guys want to pit? He's like, we can take 2 tires here. I'll take the outside, and I'll let you in, or vice versa. And he kind of reminds me of Keith then, of the play strategy of how we can win it as a team.
Yeah, I don't. While I'm racing, I don't think about strategy. I'm terrible at thinking about strategy. I'm terrible at thinking about fuel mileage. I can't do math. I suck at math. Like, if it wasn't for Keith, I'm pretty sure I would have ran my car dry numerous times throughout the season.
I am the same way, because Tom, he's always telling me, all right, we got so many laps if we.
Yeah, and he's got some program. I think it's Race Labs. I think it is, where he gets like super accurate fuel mileage statistics, and it's more accurate than iRacing, and that's what we go off of. We go off of his car because me and him kind of race the same intensity a little bit. I just kind of try pushing it more harder towards the end and towards the end of the stages. Keith, on the other hand, he'll give up a few spots for a teammate to get more stage points if that teammate is lower in the standings than he is. that's just how he's always been. That's how we've always done it as a team.
And that's what makes a great teammate. It sounds like he's just one of those great teammates to have. They'll let you in. Hey, if I need some extra points, I'll let you go by me, or I'll hold these guys off if need be. So,
Yeah, he definitely is.
Caution's out.
We've always
Hey man, your mic
bounced
like
that
a little far away
off
from
each
your mic.
other. Like,
Double
hey,
check that for us.
how many points do you need to be above this other driver and whatnot? And it definitely adds a different dynamic when I'm not used to strategy. I've never really raced with strategy. I go by, hey, I feel like it's time to go now. It's time to go. Let's go. And he's like, no, 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 no. Let's wait, but wait for a little bit longer. And he's kind of like the Buddha, I guess you could say, of the team, where he calms people down a little bit.
that there, if you're not watching this, the 18 gotten back at 87 made him go around here on this latest restart.
Yeah, he called it out over iRacing chat, saying that was his bad. I muted him. Oh damn, he really got into the back of him. I muted all the drivers earlier.
One thing I like about broadcasting these iRaces, they got so much different camera angles we can go back and look at and give the audience an up close and personal view. Where we can't quite do that on some of these other games that we'll be broadcasting. Like next Wednesday night, I'll start broadcasting on NASCAR Heat 5 for a league, and we ain't gonna have these capabilities like we do here tonight.
Yeah, I've never really messed with the console NASCAR games. I don't really play on console for anything. But it's definitely iRacing's definitely got a lot better camera angles and just ways to kind of keep up with what's going on track when you're up in the sky.
Oh yeah, for sure. And I never broadcasted a league on NASCAR Heat 5, and next Wednesday I'll be making my debut on it. I'm also sponsoring 3 other leagues that are on Xbox. They're kind of smaller Xbox leagues, and I was like, I'll throw my to get more viewership and to get my broadcasting channel up. I thought I'd sponsor these 3 other leagues over on Xbox. So hopefully it works out. I know iRacing is actually in the process of making a console game. Have no idea what it is. I know it can't be like NASCAR or Indy or F1 or any of that, but they did come out and say the other day that they are in the process of making a console game.
I didn't know that. I didn't know that at all.
Yeah, they bought out some smaller company that made like Dirt to Daytona way back when. They bought that company out, and now iRacing's gonna start making their own console games.
Which is surprising. Dirt to Daytona, that was one of my favorite racing games back in the day. We got about 5 laps to the stage end here. Parker's cruising. He's cruising. Riley Hoots is right there though. He's about to make a move on second.
Yeah, that's Derek Lyon in the 88 car who is trying to stay up there in second, but Hoots goes around him, and Lyon, he almost loses control of his car.
Yeah, Riley Hoots and Parker were battling early on in the season with each other a lot. Kind of interested to see how this restart's going to go after the stage. He is. Hoots is probably on fresher tires. He did have that incident a couple cautions back, but he's definitely reeling them in.
Caution, man. I didn't hear nothing.
That's gonna bring out a yellow. Wonder if this was Derek who brought this out.
Yeah, there's Derek. The 18 kind of sent it a little hard in the corner. Got underneath Derek.
That's the second time we've seen that within like a handful of laps from the 18.
Yeah, it's these guys gotta calm down a little bit. They're not doing a very good job of being patient and giving people room.
Hoots is away. Parker's.
Yep, they're on back on equal tires. John Trainer, he just said over on the mic that he uses fast repair, so he's got a fresh car. He's leading right now. Parker got shuffled back to fourth. It's gonna be interesting. Interesting to see what happens here.
Yeah, Trainer in the 28. He's going to be the race leader. And Schilling in the 87. He will be starting second. Nick Compton.
The lights on the pace car are off. We're going green here next lap around. Parker's on the outside. We'll see how what kind of jump he gets on the 81 and see if he can get dumped down underneath or in front of him.
So the front three guys stayed out.
Ready, green flag.
John gets a pretty good restart here. Derek, he doesn't get that great of a restart, but he's going to maintain second here. Compton, he's under fire from Parker, but Parker's going to take that outside, try to go around him, and so Parker finally moves up to third, and now Hoots is going to go around the outside and try to take that spot away for fourth place. One thing that John wants to see, and I don't think it's going to happen, is Derek needs to hold off Parker as long as possible, but as I say that, Parker goes to the inside and takes the second position away. So he's looking to go track down John up here for the lead.
Yeah, at this point, John needs to just keep his eyes out of his mirror and just focus on hitting his marks. Once you start driving with your mirror, you start making mistakes.
That is so true. I don't know how many times I've done that over the years from league racing. Whether it's 20 laps left in the race or 30 or 100, you start looking in that mirror, and that's when you mess up.
Exactly. One prime example is at the Daytona Road Course, or was it the Roval? Uh,
Yep.
Chase Elliott, Kevin Harvick
Yep.
incident.
Chase
Kevin
got
Hart.
into Kevin's head, and Kevin looked in the mirror and missed turn one.
Yeah. So I actually listened to a podcast uh, called Door Bumper
Caution,
Clear,
caution.
and
Look
it's
here,
spotters.
Commander.
They're spotters doing a podcast, and so Kevin Harvick's spotter told Kevin Harvick, "Hey, Chase is 3 cars back, 4 cars back behind you. He's coming." And he said that, and Kevin looked up in the mirror and overshot the corner and went right into the tire barrier.
Not gonna lie, I'm a huge Chase Elliott fan. That Jeff Gordon has retired. Um, I love to see that happen. I remember when Chase done that, it came back and won the race a couple years ago. That may have even been last year or 2 or 3 years ago now. But you just can't be looking in your mirror, and that you just lose focus that way.
Yeah, and when we do team practices uh, throughout the week, and we'll meet. My team will host a couple short practice stints with each other, just to close it off to us. We'll work on pack driving, and that's one thing I keep reminding myself and the guys on the team that stop looking in your mirror, stop looking at me, stop looking at me. And the whole point of doing that is to make them make a mistake, and you can really get into someone's head just by being there, and it's kind of interesting the mind games that could be played.
Oh yeah, for sure. I mean, even it doesn't really matter what size the racetrack or what type it is, whether it's Pocono or Daytona or even here at Martinsville. You can easily get into somebody's head if they're always looking in their mirror.
Yeah, exactly.
I guess one thing we got forgot to do, Nick, was bring in the winner of stage two. I apologize. Was busy talking. I forgot all about it. Usually I'm on top of that.
It's all good. I mean, who's the winner? It was Parker, right? We already talked to him.
Yep.
Let's see, who can we bring in next caution? Let's bring in. Let's bring in either Derek or John. Derek Schilling or John Trainer. They're the biggest movers right now. John Trainer started 12th and he's leading. And then Derek, he started 13th and he's in third. So I think I want to talk to one of those two guys and kind of pick their brains.
Yeah, we can do that next caution. Seems like these caution laps take forever to go by, but yeah, we can definitely do that. Double file once again for this restart coming up. We've had 15 cautions so far tonight, including 2 stage breaks.
Green flag.
John gets a pretty good restart. I thought Parker was going to do the crossover there on him, but I guess he thought better of it. He's going to put the pressure on, though, as they go in turns 3 and 4, but John's holding him off pretty good so far.
Yeah, Parker wants to get back in that clean track. Uh, oh, here we go. He's gonna. No, okay. Parker wants to get down in that green track again. Once you don't have a car in front of you, it's so much easier to drive. You just focus on hitting your marks and driving your car. You don't have to worry about if that car in front of you checks up a little harder than they normally do or whatnot.
Riding on board with Parker as we speak, and you can really see how he excels to the middle of the corner, and he gets a pretty good.
And it can be hard to pass here if the car in front of you doesn't make a mistake. I mean, it's such a one lane track of wait for the right time, mistake, and
And Hoots closed in just a little bit, and surprisingly, Felix, he's up here in the fourth position. We haven't really talked about him much tonight, but he's showing some top speed here so far, right on this little run. Though I don't think that's going to bring out a caution. No, it does not. Meanwhile, up front, the 54 is underneath the 28.
Caution.
That's going to bring out a caution now.
All right, Bud, why don't you give me status on your car there?
so let's bring up John. Let's go grab him real quick.
Do you got him, Nick, or do you want me to?
I got him. Hey, John. It's John and Nick up here in the booth. How are you doing?
Not too bad. How are you guys?
Good, man. We're just looking at the results here, and you started 12th tonight, and you're here battling with Parker for the lead. What's going through your head? How you getting this car on the track?
Well, my qualifying was terrible, so I kind of had to battle through that, and then got caught up in an Parker. A good battle here, but he's got so much speed. He's rolling off the center just super well, and I just can't keep up with him. But hopefully we can have something happen here, and I can give him a good run.
Absolutely, Parker. He's fast. He's consistent. Once you get that green track and that clear track, it's easy to run away from the rest of the field.
I was trying. The clean air was working for me well, and the most unfortunate caution. He had me by about a nose when that caution came out. So
absolutely, y'all are putting on a good show for us up here. Anybody you want to shout out?
I just want to shout out the High Pre team, and Concert Mood, our sponsor. They've been supporting us for about 8 months now, and appreciate all their support they give us, and to all the people watching. Thanks for watching. Thanks for you guys for putting on the broadcast. Appreciate going back and watching it every week.
Awesome. Well, you have a good rest of the race, man. Good luck. We'll definitely watching you guys.
Thanks, boys. Have a good time up there.
Sounds like he's ready to rock and roll and give Parker a run for his money tonight.
Yeah. He's definitely got the car. And John, he's good on restarts. He knows when to time it. He's gotten me on a couple restarts.
Yeah, he's definitely good on restarts. I've watched him throughout the season, and he ain't no Jeff Gordon, if you know what I mean. Jeff Gordon was terrible on restarts, and while John, two different people, obviously, but John's definitely really good on restarts. So he might be able to take this lead back away from Parker here.
Yeah, we'll definitely see. I'm terrible at restarts, especially if I'm starting on the front row. On the outside, I am absolutely terrible. It's interesting because him and his teammate Victor are bumper to bumper right now, so maybe they can link up and kind of work together.
Victor hits that outside wall, and that's opening up the door for Hoots in the 25, and he's under the 28 trying to take the second spot away.
Yeah, Victor he could have spun his tires on the restart. It's pretty easy to do that here.
Hoots finally clears John, and he's going to go track down the leader. 28's fighting back, though. John's really starting to put the pressure back on the 25 now.
Ugh,
Oh,
come on.
Caution's out. Tell us what you got when you get a chance.
guys just being aggressive, closing down with this race. Running out of laps, running out of patience. That's all that is. See the 28 gets in the back of the 25 just a little too hard there, and that's what brought that latest caution out.
Yeah. Yeah, John didn't really give him any space there on the inside. Or yeah, it's hard to tell being up here. You race as well. John's clock's probably ticking. Hey, it's time to go. It's time to go. Time to go. We need to go, and he's pushing.
Well, like we said earlier, John probably knows when it's go time. He started the race 12th. He's up in the second place here, so he knows it's go time, and he don't want to lose any positions more than he has to. It's definitely the chase, and he is fighting for a championship. So is Hoots. I'm not taking away from that. Hoots that is just a racing incident.
Yeah, I mean it happens. Short track racing at its finest, right? You'll have those little bumper scrubs, and sometimes you kind of hit them a little too hard, and it sends them right around.
We have just over 50 laps of this race left, I believe. So 65 laps, give or take a few. So it's definitely go time. You want to get out in clean air, try to muscle away this lead from Parker, who's been the dominant car so far tonight. Looks like he may end up choosing the outside lane here on this restart.
He is. That's kind of interesting. I don't know about wanting to give up that outside. Or give up that inside, I should say, on the restart.
I
It's
mean,
kind of interesting tactic.
I could see it if that was your teammate on your inside, but he don't have a teammate on his. He will not have a teammate on his inside. That would be John and Victor. They're on his inside.
Yeah, and that lines those Hypre teammates up. I don't know if Parker realized that's what he did. Maybe he's banking on getting a really good bump or a really good jump on the restart, and kind of chopping off John's nose.
Green
And he
flag.
did. He got a phenomenal jump on the restart.
John might be struggling just a little bit on this restart. He's got the 45 to his outside, making it some progress, trying to take the second spot away.
Yeah, we see Parker here getting this clean air. Open track, clean air. We're starting to see him walk away, it looks like.
It's not done yet though. Victor, he's trying to make up some ground. He's trying to get around the 45. It's 28 now. He's separated himself from the 45, so he can go out and focus now on Parker. But as you mentioned, Nick, Parker does have that clean air, and that's going to help him out a ton here.
Absolutely. And with John having clean air in front of him and just clear sight to Parker, we might see John start reeling Parker in.
Guys are watching at home. Oh, we got this modified 18 car up here. He's back inside the top 5. He's running 5th currently. He's missing his whole front end, so he's still showing pretty good speed. Not much damage.
Yeah, I mean, this track isn't very aero dependent. It's tires and gearing for the open setup guys, but you can take a lot of damage. It's kind of like Bristol. You can take a lot of damage and still be competitive.
Victor gets a little loose there, and I thought the 18 was going to have a run on him, and he ended up having to shut that down as he had no place to take it.
They're right back here in the rear.
Like a protein shake or a bar or anything like that?
Derek Schilling's around in the 87.
The 42 just got into the loose stuff up top, and it kicked that rear end right around. And unfortunately, Brian Messer just kind of got clipped.
Yeah, it's all it takes is just a little touch. You can see Brian there in the 53. He went around because of that touch that Allen gave him. Back up front, Parker's on pit road getting service done.
That brings up Zach and Keith on the front row. Zach, he's been one of those guys that's been really consistent all season. He's always been up there. He's kind of like me. He's just always been there. Just hasn't actually. He did get a win earlier in the season, but he's another one that we can't really count out here tonight.
No, Zach, he's been inside the top 5, top 10 most of the season. I do know he was terrible at Watkins Glen. He just didn't. I don't think he's a road course guy. That was not his best track, but here he is now inside the top 5, where he's used to running most of the season.
During the Watkins, him and his brother, they were sick. I believe they both, or one of them had COVID, and so they're pretty low on stamina and energy.
Yep, that definitely has a playing effect to it. I mean, if you're sick, you know, and you don't have the strength or the energy to, especially at road courses, right? Because that's left and rights plus the braking.
Yeah, road courses are strenuous. They really are, because your brain is working overtime because you're used to running left, turning left, turning left, turning left, and now you got to throw in a right turn here and there and shifting and hitting the brakes when you're not usually used to really hitting the brakes hard, and it really puts your mind to work. And I was more tired after Watkins Glen than I have been all season.
You guys don't have any more road courses this year, right? I didn't see it on the schedule. If I did, I overlooked it.
Green.
No, we do not. Next season, though, we have a few
One thing for sure,
road courses.
everybody on the racetrack will be pissed off at somebody else on the racetrack before this race is over with.
Well, we said it, folks. People are running out of patience. We got less than 50 laps in this race, and I think we got a guy that may have tried to bulldoze his way through the field. Derek Line in the 88, he takes out Zachary Compton in the 81 car, spins him around.
Yeah, I'm not sure what happened there. I think Derek just thought he had a good run on Zach, and that hole closed up quick.
Yep. I kind of wonder if Derek thought about taking him 3 wide, because he has Keith fallen to his inside and Zach to his outside, so I kind of wonder if he thought about taking it 3 wide and that hole closed up on him.
Yeah, that's what looks like will happen. But yeah, next season we got the Daytona Road Course, and we're gonna have the Charlotte Roval in the playoffs. Those are gonna be two interesting. I've never raced on either one of those. Actually, no, I haven't. I haven't raced on either one of those, so that's gonna be interesting. But another thing we're doing is we're gonna do a dirt race in the beginning of the season. That's gonna be fun. That's gonna be at Bristol Dirt. That'll be a 150 lap feature race. We're gonna do a couple heat races to kind of sort the field, and then kick it off for 150 laps.
Race should be interesting.
Yeah, we when we put the schedule together for the next season, we wanted to kind of hit tracks that we didn't hit this season, and add a little more flair to it. This season we kind of threw the schedule together because we didn't rush putting this league together. We kind of took our time with it, but we didn't put too much thought into the actual schedule. We just knew we wanted a 10 race regular season with a 5 race chase to keep it short, keep it interesting, keep things moving, right? Because a lot of these leagues are out here running 20, 26, 30 lap or 30 race seasons, and like that's a long time. That's a good chunk of your year,
Green.
and you'll get some people that drop out of the league, and you just start losing people at that point.
Yeah, I've ran a couple of those longer seasons.
They went 4 wide right there.
Oh my, we got a big pile up here, and they're still wrecking. The Brian Mercer's around the 45. He's in the grass. Alan Bledsoe, he's trying to get turned around here.
Yeah, they were 4 wide through turn 2.
Well, I guess one good thing about this being a sim is you can't throw helmets at other drivers like you can in real life. So if you think 4 wide works, it does not.
It does not, and if you look at the 42, he is crab walking down pit road right now. He is, he's like, it looks like he's drifting, breaking the laws of physics right now. But it's it does not work 4 wide here. It just will not work.
I mean, just coming off the corner here, they're already 4 wide, and it's a pretty good shot. I got it paused here. I got the camera paused, and it's pretty good. It just didn't work out for anybody.
No, it didn't. Let's see. We got 40 laps. 40 laps to go. And it's spicing up here. Derek Line. He came from 17th. He started 17th. He's leading right now. Got Parker on his outside. I don't think Derek's going to be able to hold him off unless he gets a really good jump. I don't know what kind of tires he's got over Parker. I know Parker just got fresh tires a few laps ago.
Yeah, these guys got 40 laps to settle it, or 39 laps to settle it now as they just cross the start finish line. See these couple of guys up here, the 1825. They just beat the pace car off pit road, so they don't go a lap down. The 88 Derek Line is your race leader. Parker Collins in the 54. He's on the outside. 87 is also up here, and so is Keith Fallon in the 09 car. Those are your top 4, and John Trainer is currently running 5th.
Yeah, and Derek, he made a comment on iRacing chat saying how it was his first ever lap led in this league, and asked me to give him some bonus points for that. I said, and I told him, "Oh, for you, you'll get negative points for that." That's the good thing about leagues is you get a relationship with these drivers because you're racing against them every single week.
Yep.
You get a good rapport with each other, and you can make those jokes. So if you guys are out there watching and you're thinking about joining a league, join one. It's great. You race with the same guys every single week, in and out. Practice with them all week. You become friends. You make good friendships with these guys. It's a lot of fun.
And I tell you, your league, I'm not trying to be biased or anything, but it's one of the best ran leagues I have seen coming out of the gate. You know, you guys got your first year in the books pretty well, and you already got a great game plan for Season 2, which I absolutely love, especially if you're in the Xfinity series.
Yeah, and I mean, we kind of did that by design, right? Like me and Keith were both military. Keith is prior military. I'm still active duty, and a lot of the military teaches you is planning, and then execute your plan, right? And if you could see, not only just like our management chat on the Discord server, but me and Keith have a private chat that we go back and forth with when we kind of just want to bounce ideas off of each other and not really include anybody else. Not because we're kind of keeping anything, but we just don't want to put it out just yet. We don't know how. Might sound like a good idea to me, but it sounds like a terrible idea to him. But I've ran in a lot of leagues. Keith has ran in a lot of leagues, and it's one of those things where we know what we want out of a league. It's just a matter of executing it and putting it into play. And I think we've done a pretty good job so far. We still got a lot of work to do. There's still a lot of things we could fine tune and kind of figure out. We're still learning every single week. But we're definitely headed in the right direction for sure.
Oh yeah, I remember the first time, I think it was back in 2017, I started up my own league. It was on actually NASCAR Heat 2. And, you know, I had very little or no preparation. And as I became more experienced running leagues, you know, you gain more knowledge of what mistakes you've had in your first season. Of course, you guys had your fair share of mistakes, and you also learn from, hey, this is what other leagues are doing, this is what don't work, this is what I didn't like about other leagues. So you kind of get that experience and knowledge of how you want your own league to be ran.
Big crash. Caution.
Got Darren's staff back here turned around, facing the wrong direction. Yeah, running a league is it's a lot of work. It's constantly working to improve. And the hardest thing of running a league is, you would think, is getting drivers, but honestly, the hardest part of running a league is keeping drivers. Because people will join you, and especially free leagues, they'll join you, just run a couple of races, and like, no, I don't like these guys, and they'll dip out.
Yep.
But so far, we've pretty much kept, I'd say, about 90% of the guys that joined us from the start.
I have to agree with you. I got thrown in to an iRacing league that I created. This guy who I ran with on PS5, or not PS5 but PS4 on NASCAR Heat 5. I gave him the idea of, hey, let's take your league and put it on iRacing because we can turn your league into something bigger. And he's like, okay. So I made this cool video. Then we brought it out to other members of the league and like, yeah, let's do this iRacing thing. So we ran with it. Then like right before he wanted to start up iRacing, he's like, no, I'm not going to do iRacing. So me and a couple other buddies, we started up our own league, and I ended up leaving just because I thought I was going to go to night shift for a while. So it is hard to run a league, especially if you have guys that constantly drop off. Like, why are these guys leaving? But you guys have honestly maintained at least 20 cars, if not more, each race. So that's pretty impressive, especially for your first year of running a league.
Absolutely. Like me, I can't be more proud of how far we've come so far in just 10 weeks, right? Like 10 weeks of racing. We've pretty much figured out how we're going to do things from here on out. But like I said, we're still constantly fine-tuning things and adjusting some rules here and there, and trying to figure out what the drivers want. That's one of our big things in our league, is we're not going to make a big decision for a change without our drivers' input. So we ask for a vote on those big issues, and the drivers will speak, and they'll tell us, hey, this is what we want, and we'll base our decision off of that.
Right, it is important to get drivers' feedback because without the drivers, you wouldn't have a league. So there again, it's very important that you ask your drivers, hey, what rules do you like, or are we being fair? What can we improve upon? So
Exactly. I'm in the process right now of rewriting our entire rule book. I feel like I've been rewriting it all season, adding and taking things away, and here in a couple weeks, I'm going to put it out to the league and be like, hey, this is the draft for next season. This is what we're going to be going to. Go on here, and it's going to be on Google Drive. It's going to be on a Google document, so they can go in there and they can edit it. They can make notes on there, and they can email me those notes to where I can see exactly what they want to change. We had a little weird stack up on the restart.
that's pretty great. You know, I never really thought of that. Whenever I ran the league, I just created my own rules and sent them up to other admins and be like, here, what do you guys think? And we just discuss it. You know, one thing I hated though, whenever I was a league owner, was changing rules mid-season or adding rules. You know, I know sometimes you have to do that, but it's just like, for me, if I make a set of rules, I want that to be in place for the whole season without any adjustments. But I know each league is different, so that's just my personal experience and opinion.
Yeah, we haven't had to make a big rule change really so far. The only thing we really had to change was how many drivers came into the chase. just based off points. That's really the only big rule change we've had to make so far.
Can you look at those temps real quick, bud?
But even I'm the same way. I don't want to change rules mid-season, and if we do, we will put it up to a vote, and we'll be completely transparent with the guys of our league.
Looks like the 25 boots gets loose off corner exit. Brings out a roadblock. A lot of people had no place to go, and they got collected in this latest caution. I will say, Nick, it's not a good thing, but I think tonight's probably the most cautions you've had all season long.
Yeah, I mean, it's kind of expected. It's Martinsville. There's going to be a lot of beating and banging. It's going to be a lot of, like, just people being impatient and trying to get around these slower cars.
Yeah.
But it's definitely. I'm actually, now that we're almost through the race, I'm kind of glad I'm sitting this one out.
Yeah, I don't blame you one bit. I think next week I'm looking forward to Daytona. I can see a lot of single car action for a little bit, at least until the stage breaks come to an end or toward the end of the race. I think a lot of guys are just going to probably try to stay in the draft and work with one another after tonight's race.
Yeah, so Daytona's gonna be fun. Big plate track, teamwork. Like we said earlier, we said it numerous times tonight. Teamwork, teamwork, teamwork. That's what it's gonna take. It's gonna take being in the right place at the right time, missing those big wrecks, and just making sure your car stays as clean as possible. You can go from running 10th in the very next lap, you could be leading the race there. So anything's possible at Daytona.
Yes, it is. So I'm actually looking at your schedule, and after Daytona, we got Las Vegas, another night race, and then we go to the Trico Triangle over in Pocono, up in the Pennsylvania mountains, and then we finished off in Florida, Homestead. So definitely a unique schedule for this late in the season. Way different track, short track, big track, medium-sized track, and then another big track. Then you got another intermediate track. So it's definitely going to be a challenge for some of these guys. Daytona, anybody can win.
Yeah, we kind of wanted to throw a little bit of something, a little bit of everything in the playoffs for this season. The only thing we didn't really throw in there was a road course, which we're doing that next season. So again, we'll learn in from this season and applying what we're learning to next season.
Yep. One thing I do like though is Pocono being in the mix, just because that can be a fuel race, right? I mean, it's such a big track, and not only is it a huge fuel race, it's also a drafting track a little bit, right? I mean, you guys, you guys stay in the draft.
It's very air dependent. It's a big racetrack. It doesn't get the recognition it deserves for being as big. But it's going to be interesting to see what plays out there, and how the race unfolds.
Well, since we got this other caution, see if I can find Derek Line. We're going to bring him into the booth real quick. Hey Derek, it's John and Nick up in the booth. You got us?
Yes.
So you're about to restart this race in second. What can you do to get around Parker here?
Oh, well, I think it's going to be a little difficult because he's mixing up his restarts, but I'm just hoping I'm running in VR. I'm hoping I can kind of keep a good eye on him and get to at least an even pace with him. And I mean, I'm not the fastest driver in these cars, so I'm just trying to survive for the most part.
Well, you've done a good job earlier. I made a comment that you kind of bulldozed your way up through the field earlier, but I think that was just whole closing him quick on you. But you've done a great job. You're up here in second, and you've led a couple laps early on. So we'll keep an eye on for you. See if you can make any muscle around Parker here. He's been the dominant car tonight.
Yeah, Parker's pretty quick, and I got a dirt background, so this isn't my natural territory. The short track helps me a little bit, I think, but I'm gonna try and mostly just keep the pace on him and try and guess what he's gonna do on this restart. This last one he went pretty quick, and that helped me get up to second. The one before that he held it off a lot, and it bunched a bunch of people up. But I'm just kind of hoping I can keep up with him, and to be honest, I'd be happy with a podium.
Yeah, I don't blame you one bit. It'd be a great place to start in the playoffs.
For sure.
See, what you got to do is you got to give Keith a giant block.
Yeah, that's been the running joke since Indy. I was blocking him at Indy because there was I think it was George was his name. He was blocking me pretty hard, and I had a quick pace on him. I was trying to get around him for about 10-15 laps, and Keith just happened to catch me. He was quicker, and I was blocking him for a little bit because I wanted to make my move. As soon as I got past George, though, I let him go.
Yeah, that was a fun race. You should have heard Keith over in the team chat all race.
Yeah,
he was talking your name a lot.
Yeah, I can imagine, but we've kind of made amends. I painted the car he's driving now, so I think we're on the same page. We've been joking back and forth about me blocking him and him blocking me.
Yeah, no, it's become a good joke and it's good banner back and forth. We definitely like it.
All right, well, we'll let you get back going here. You got the pace car going off, so we'll let you go.
All right, sounds good. Thank you.
Green flag.
So Derek alluded to Parker changing up his restart strategy, and he has been.
One thing for sure.
And
everybody
he
on the
kind of
racetrack
bunched the
will
field
be
up really
set
hard.
everybody
A
else
couple
on the
restarts
racetrack
ago.
before the race is over with.
In the last restart, he kind of just took off early, and he's kind of changing stuff up. Which you got to do that sometimes.
Oh yeah, for sure. And we saw him do that. I believe it was Bristol, maybe. Matt and I was talking about that, how he needed to change up his restarts, and he was actually listening in, and he actually done it.
Yeah, and that brings a good dynamic. So these drivers, they watch the broadcast while they're racing, or at least listen to it. So they listen to the things that the commentators will say, and maybe they should try this, and maybe the driver hasn't thought about that, and it can kind of be an aid to them, or they'll hear a driver interview and say, all right, well, Parker, what are you doing to what are you doing to smoke everybody out of the water? And then he gives up a secret, and then there you go. Now these other guys know the secret. You know what I mean?
I mean, I don't want to tell these guys it's their game plan. I'm just gonna ask them a question. If they don't want to answer, that's fine.
No, that's not on you. I mean, hey, you're doing your job. Green, white, checkered. It's gonna be good. So we're gonna have 3 attempts at a green, white, checkered here. I'm curious to see if they can run it clean.
Yeah, it's gonna be interesting to see. I can see the top 4 or 5 guys, especially if you're in that second row where John is, trying to make something happen. I mean, even if it's giving Parker a little bit of bump going into turn 1 to get him sideways to take that lead away.
Yeah, Parker and John. If John gets a good jump behind Parker, he's gonna be on his bumper. Keith's got to get around Derek. Derek kind of said, he's not really good at asphalt. He's a dirt guy. So that's going to be interesting. See if Keith can get around him cleanly without the 18 or 28 giving him too much trouble. And you got Brian Messer behind Keith. They're teammates. Brian's got a kind of missing a front end, but he can still help. He can still help push.
Yeah, for sure. He's sitting back there in the 6th position, and he could make something happen by pushing, like you said. Here we go.
Green flag.
Parker gets a pretty good restart.
I mean, it's easy to get a good restart when you control the field.
Yep.
Our role is the leaders got restart. As soon as the pace cars got all 4 tires off the racing surface, he can go. And that's a big strategy thing.
Last lap as Parker, he's looking to keep his momentum up. Further on back, we got the 28 of John spinning. A little bit beating and banging. 18 is going around. He's going to go around the field there. And Parker Collins is going to win it. It's going to pick up win number 4 of this season. Derek Line's going to finish 2nd. Keith Fallen 3rd. So we'll get those interviews. We'll go ahead and start with Parker. Hey, Parker, it's John up and Nick in the booth. You got us?
Yeah, I got you.
Hey, congratulations on race win number 4 of the season.
Yeah, it was a fun one. Had a little bit of trouble there, but made it through, and yeah, it was fun.
Definitely had a lot of cautions. What did it take to hold off Derek in these late restarts here? I know you told us when you wanted to go. Did you decide to change your mind at any time? Like maybe go at the same spot every time, or did you just know he was going to change it on each restart?
I just kind of wanted to change it up a little bit, keep them on their toes, and I think that's really what kept them behind me there at the end. So, it was a good race, good win, good solid start to the playoffs. So we'll definitely take it.
All right, well, congratulations on your win. Good luck for the rest of the playoffs. Next week's Daytona, so anybody can win there. But anyway, good luck. Anybody you want to get a shout out to?
Yeah, all my teammates at Tiny Dog Racing, Alex, Ryan, Darren, they did awesome today. Everybody at Tiny Dog Racing. Yeah, it was fun.
All right, well, good luck to you.
Yep, thanks.
All right, with that, we will go ahead and bring in Keith, because we've talked to Derek, but we'll still talk to Derek, but let's go ahead and bring in Keith real quick. Hey Keith, it's John and Nick in the booth. You got us?
Yeah, I got you. How you doing?
Good. How are you? You finished 3rd tonight. It's the best position you have finished all season long, I do believe.
Yeah, it is. My old Captain Jack Chevrolet was doing pretty good. Didn't really expect this type of finish, but pushed pretty hard at the end. I wasn't going to give the 28 any room going into the turn, so feel bad that he wrecked, but I was pushing as hard as I could.
Hey, sometimes you gotta do that these short races, especially with playoffs are on the line, points are on the line. You want to keep that momentum going forward, and tonight you got a podium, so hats off to you.
Oh yeah, I'm definitely proud to get a podium in this paint scheme. This is a special paint scheme that means a lot to me. My dad designed it when I was 11 years old, and he was a crew chief for a dirt track driver that drove this car, this design. And that season, he won the championship and led the most laps, most wins, and most poles. So it was pretty awesome to be able to get a top 3 with this paint scheme.
Well, that's pretty awesome. Anybody, do you want to get a shout out to anybody?
Yeah, I give a shout out to Derek. He did the paint scheme. I really, really do appreciate it. I want to give a shout out to my dad. I know he's watching. He's gave me advice on racing pretty much since I started iRacing, and then all my teammates, Brian, Nick, Nicholas. I appreciate them.
All right. Well, good luck to you for the rest of the playoffs.
All right, I appreciate it, man.
Hey, Derek, it's John and Nick in the booth. You got us?
Yes, I got you.
So you got second tonight, podium that, like you talked about earlier.
Yeah, that was oh man, that was by the grit of my teeth. I knew on that last restart, I was looking over at Riley or at Parker's right front, and I was just like, okay, I gotta get this. I knew it was a green white checkered, and I knew Keith was on my butt, and John was down there, and those guys are definitely quicker than I am. And I was like, okay, I gotta get to the bottom as quickly as I can and not botch this restart. So I did everything I could to get up on it, and then I saw Keith and John coming in pretty hard in that first turn, and I was puckered a little bit. I was worried that they were going to come up into me trying to make a run on the last lap, and I washed up a little bit going into the second turn, and I was able to keep it down. Luckily, I think the two of them got in it together, and then it was just holding on for the ride at that point.
Well, I tell you though, it was fun and exciting. And next week you go to Daytona. Anything can happen there.
Yep, I'm hoping to have the rest of my team back. Derek, the other Derek in the race, I was trying my best at the beginning to give him a hold, to let him come in. I'm trying to keep my my playoff drivers. I'm not in the playoffs, so I'm trying to keep my playoff drivers up in the front. And he was having a hard time at the beginning of the race. He kept pushing up, and I was holding on to him as long as I could. He had a pretty hard race. He kept getting turned. But I think at Daytona, we'll have the rest of our crew back. We got Keith and David are going to be back, hopefully, and we'll have Bob there, and we'll have a full team ready to go and try and make some runs.
All right. Well, good luck to you, Nick. Do you have anything to say?
No, man, just congrats to Derek for getting his first podium for the season. You look good out there. Good
Heck
for
yeah,
not
man.
blocking.
I told Keith we were sitting in the hauler waiting to come up here for the chat. I was like, man, I was blocking the crap out of you. And he was like, I was pushing it as hard as I could. And I was like, man, if he would have started making a run on the high side, I was not going to give him any room on that wall. I'd let him have the space he needed. But if he messed up, he was going to be in the wall, because I wasn't going to make it easy for him to get by me. That's for sure.
That's right. So, all right, man. Good race. Congrats on your second place win or second place finish. It's good. There's a good race. There's a good experience to watch from this point of view, I should say.
Yeah.
All right. That does it for tonight's broadcast. We'll see you back here next Friday night from Daytona. Just a quick shout out to next Wednesday night. I do have a broadcast if anybody is wanting to watch. 3 wide racing on NASCAR Heat 5 PlayStation 4 Wednesday night at 7 p.m. Central Time. And then next Friday night back here for Daytona. Also, I wanted to give a quick shout out to the 3 leagues I am sponsoring: the Lightning Series Racing League, Friday Night Thunder, and Xbox Presents Racing League. All those racing leagues can be found on Xbox on Facebook pages. If you are interested in any of those, please look them up. Well, Nick, it was good working with you. Matt should be back next week. Are you going to be back in the booth with us next week?
Yeah, we'll see. I'm not gonna be racing again. Like I said, I don't have any of my gear with me. I'm in a hotel. I got my computer, but I just didn't want to bring my gear, and I'm glad I didn't because I ran into some snow and that just would have been a mess. So I might join back up here with you guys. Do a 3-man broadcast. I think that'll be fun.
Yes, indeed. Hopefully Brody will be here. He ended up writing me, told me he was out of town, so that's understandable.
Oh yeah, people have lives, and you got to work around it sometimes.
Yep. All right, well, see you back here next Friday night.
All right, good night.
I wanna make sound. I wanna change everything. I wanna